Good evening. I want to continue on with my story. I left off with how drawing made everyday life easier for me as I was in middle school. This will be the third time tonight I've made this video, and the last one was pretty good, but I think I want to slow down just a little bit because I got way carried away and jumped way far forward really fast, and I missed a lot of very important details as I did that. This video is hard for me to make because we're going through my life in middle school and then into my years of puberty, and some of the stuff that I did, some of the stuff that I dealt with, some of the stuff that happened to me during those years of my life were very difficult. I focused way too much on my artwork and drawing in middle school, and that continued into high school as well. It caused bad grades, it caused absences, it caused a lot of other stuff. I also started smoking while I was in high school, and that was a habit that I really wish I had never ever touched. But exactly 1 year ago yesterday, I put down tobacco and I quit cold turkey. I'm really proud of that fact because I kicked it. As I started into puberty, my body started changing, and the changes that were happening were insane. They made me feel horrible. I hated my body. I did not want to be in my body. And I tried to let myself out of my body more than once. And I decided at that point that I really wasn't scared of much. And I'd pick a fight with just about anybody I could if I thought that I was going to achieve something by having that fight. My dad re-entered my life on a full-time basis at this point. Previously, he had worked construction and he was out of town a lot. And I got to see him on weekends, and sometimes it was really nice and sometimes it was really hard. Especially as I had started getting older and started standing out, stepping out, and misbehaving. A lot of the interactions with my dad were really rough. When he came into my life right as I was going through puberty. And I already hated my body. I hated everything about it. And my dad came in and he stepped in and he took control as society dictates a father should do. And he did the very best that he could. Unfortunately, the very best that he could do was a lot of hard lessons that it took me a long time, even after I had grown up and moved out, to learn. I'm thankful for those lessons. I just wish that they had been taught differently, but I'm not mad at my dad for teaching the lessons that he taught me. So as I'm going through puberty, there were some suicide attempts. One, I got really close. I'm still here, so it wasn't that close. But it was close enough. I wind up in psychiatric care. And the psychiatric care led to medication. Medication led to even more hatred for my body, because the medication made me very lethargic. It made me very unexcited to do anything. It made me very unmotivated. I gained a lot of weight really fast. So the medication was as bad as the puberty itself. I just didn't have the motivation to do anything about it. I guess that's basically the definition of sedation. So I wound up in and out of the psych ward a few different times. Wound up with the sheriff's department involved a few different times because I was hard-headed and I wasn't going to give up. My parents and I really struggled through some of this, and my brother and I really struggled through some of this. And I love my brother, and I am so sorry for all of the anger and all of the jealousy and all of the hatred that he dealt with from me when we were growing up. He didn't deserve any of it. None of this is his fault. None of what was going on was his fault. So I apologize to my brother. I've apologized to him over the phone. I've apologized to him in person. And now I want to apologize to him on here for the entire world to see, because it's that important to me. I love you, and I'm sorry. Life continued on. Puberty continued on. My hatred for life continued on. I was diagnosed with a coding disorder, which means that I don't process things the same as everybody else. Which makes a lot of sense, because I'm in the wrong body, so how can I process things the same as everybody else? But again, nobody could call it transgender because nobody really knew what transgender was at that point, and it really was an option on the table. So as I'm moving through my teenage years and I'm on medication, I wound up going to Job Corps, and we thought it was going to be a really great experience. It gave me a trade, it gave me my education, it gave me everything I needed to be successful in life. Except for the freedom to be who I am. I stopped taking my medication and I started selling it. That wasn't really a good idea. That lasted about 2 weeks, and then somebody turned me in. I don't know who. I'm glad they did. And I wound up getting kicked out of Job Corps. And the reason I'm glad they turned me in is because they turned me in before the medication I was selling had the opportunity to kill somebody. So I don't have somebody's death on my conscience because I was being stupid. I'm about at the 10-minute mark, so I'm going to go ahead and tell everybody thank you for listening. I appreciate it. Thank you for bearing with me as I tell this story, and I hope that at the end of this story, somebody can take something out of it and say, well, this person survived that, so I can survive it too.